Hey guys, it's Christian Soldier 99. Well, that's kind of a tongue twister. I had a little trouble saying that. So we're going to begin a series called How Does God Speak to Us? I've had some questions, even lately, from my own kids and throughout the years from family members and friends and even my wife. How does God speak to me? That's what they ask me. Or how do I know God's speaking to me? So here's what I'm going to tell you about myself. Personal things about myself. When I was 6 years old, I had a demonic oppression upon me. From the time I was 6 years old till I was 25, I basically saw demons. And they walked with me, talked with me as my friends, so to speak. They grew up with me. Even one of the demons, it would grow with me. And I know this shocks a lot of people, and a lot of people are like saying, that's not true, that's a lie, or what's going on and everything. You don't understand that. I'm just being real with you. I'm being truthful with you, speaking from my heart. So for, almost 20 years, I dealt with a demonic oppression. They spoke with me. They were real to me. I could physically touch them. As a matter of fact, when I was getting released from them and their oppression, they became very physical with me. They would punch me. They would keep me up at night. It was very difficult. So what I did was, after I got released from that oppression, I said, God, you know the amount of voices that were in my head as a child. You know the amount of voices that I've heard throughout my entire life. Please, you have to be louder than those. You have to speak to me directly. You have to be louder for me to understand and to hear you. And he honored that. When God speaks to me, it's almost audible. And I know a lot of people don't hear that and don't understand that. And lots of people get upset and envious and even jealous. They've told me that. But that's okay, because God's not a respecter of person. If you want God to meet you on your level, he will. Do you want God to speak to you audibly? He will. You know what he told Elijah? Okay, Elijah said, I want to see you, I want to see you, I want to see you. And God's like, no, man, you can't. You will die. And Elijah's like, I don't care, I want to see you. He said, here, go hide in this cleft of the rock, and I'm just going to, show you a little bit of myself. But don't look at me, you'll die, things like this. So God will meet you where you're at, and he knew my heart for him. He knew my hunger for him, my thirst for him. But I had these voices in my head that were so strong, even as a child, and I grew up with them. It was all I knew. And I knew I wanted to hear from God. I wanted to give my life completely to him, so I wanted to hear from him completely. And he does. When he speaks to me, he talks to me. He talks to me plain as day. He talks to me, he says, hey, I want you to say this, I want you to do this. Even to the point where I was going to mess up one time. And he said, you better call that person back and tell them no. And he was getting angry with me. He said, I told you to call that person back and tell them no. I am not joking. Even when we was dating my wife, he's like, you better not mess with her. You better keep her holy. I'm going to hold you responsible for that. And so he does. He speaks to me that way. He'll even tell me, hey, go up to this person. Tell them this. They're dealing with this. Pray for them about this. These are called words of knowledge and prophetic parts, prophetic utterances and so forth. And these are some of the ways that God speaks to us. But he doesn't speak to us all the same. Each one of us are different. And so it's hard for us to understand, when is God speaking to us? God will speak to us in many ways, through the Bible, through sermons, through songs, through words of knowledge, through prophetic utterances, through visions, through dreams, okay, and through revelation and things of that nature. And even he'll send messengers, he'll send angels sometimes to speak to us. He did that for Joseph, all right? And he said, hey, take Mary, even though it's not your child, she's with child, take her. And he even went to Mary and told Mary, you are blessed, okay? So yeah, he can even use angels to speak to us. He used a donkey one time to speak to a prophet in the Old Testament. That's epic. If you look in the Bible about that, Old Testament, look it up. Donkey speaks. So anyway, I'm really excited about this series, and I'm just going to interview as many people as are willing to let me interview my wife and my friends and family, and we're going to really learn how God speaks to us and how we can understand how God speaks to us. And I hope that when you listen and watch these videos, you're like, oh my word, I know what that's about. That's how God speaks to me. And it'll hopefully give you some clarity, and it'll give you some understanding and a revelation of like, yes, yes, that's what that is. That's God speaking to me. That's what that is. Okay? And it'll help us to have a better relationship with Him, a better walk with Him, and a better understanding of who God is. Okay, thanks a lot, guys. Hopefully you subscribe. Okay? This is Christian Soldier 99. Have a good one.